From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Daniels Roofing, licensed, bonded, insured roofing contractor. 45 years of generational expertise, offering a variety of roofing systems in the North State. Composition shingles, metal, tile, fire-safe wood shingles, and spray foam roofing systems. An energy-saving cool roof, perfect for commercial flat roofs and mobile homes. With other companies, you may get a foreman or a salesman, but with Daniels Roofing, you get Daniel. Call today for your free estimate. Daniels Roofing, 3 generations working hard to protect your home and business.
Happy holidays from Weather NorCal and our sponsors. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Happy Thursday morning to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger for Weather NorCal. We do have the dry and mild conditions here that we'll be talking about for the rest of the week. But the wet weather pattern I've been talking about this week, it looks like it's still holding on. That's going to be here sometime around Friday night and into Saturday, and of course through the weekend. Speaking of the weekend, the first day of winter is this Saturday. It's the shortest amount of daylight hours we'll see. It's the winter solstice. But after that, those daylight hours will start to get longer and longer. And we're also, of course, talking about snow. With the storm systems coming in over the weekend and next week, they're going to be high with those snow levels, probably above 5, even 6,000 feet to start off. So it's not going to be major delays when we're talking chain requirements, but, just the wet roads. That is obviously going to be the main concern here. So we get you out the door this morning here, starting off with Krueger's Quickcast for your Thursday, the 19th of December. Out the door, there's going to be some fog in the valley, and dense fog at that, and it could include the Redding area. So basically the entire Sacramento Valley will be dealing with some of that fog, and very dense in some areas here. Also looking at fog, patchy fog for many of the mountain valleys and some of the inland valleys as well. Eastern mountains may even see some freezing fog should we see that fog begin to develop. Let's talk about the beach hazard statement along the coast because it is through 3 p.m. tomorrow. Sneaker waves will obviously be the biggest concern along the coast. All right, we'll talk about that fog again because we do have that dense fog advisory until noon today. Now, we're going to take a look at what the fog is looking like this morning, and it's been kind of creeping its way northward, trying to make its way into the Redding area. So for the most part, it's been during the early morning hours for Red Bluff to the south, and of course making its way eventually into the Redding area as well. I want to zoom it out here because I want to show you that this is not just the northern Sacramento Valley, but you can see Sacramento, even to the San Joaquin, a little bit of a break here. But this fog that you're seeing here has been an issue over the last few days, even through the daytime hours. So it's just one of those situations where that fog is certainly creating some problems out there. So let's take you through the morning hours. 8 o'clock this morning, you can see some of the dense fog that we are going to be looking at in the valley. Okay, then we go into 10 a.m., still that fog. It's going to take a while for it to burn off. You can see even by the noon hour, still some fog. Now it's going to begin to lift through the morning hours. What that means is you see very dense fog at the surface. You're talking visibility down to less than a mile, sometimes even 0 to a quarter of a mile. And then eventually you start to see it lift a little bit. The visibility gets better, but still kind of those gray overcast type skies. That's what it looks like through the late morning hours into the afternoon. In fact, take a look at this. 2 p.m., we're seeing that fog really burning off here for places like Redding and Red Bluff, but maybe not so much in Chico. And then, of course, even at 5 p.m., Chico may still, and Oroville, may still be dealing with some of that fog, some of those gray skies. Now, the thing is, fog can be very fickle when it comes to forecasting it. But keep in mind, basically is this, that, your temperatures, the quicker the fog burns off, the warmer your temperatures will be. The longer the fog takes to burn off, the cooler your temperatures are going to be. All right, so here's kind of the bigger picture here. There you can see that cold front. It is approaching. The thing is, high pressure is still in place. So this is fairly impressive. It's still going to bring us a lot of cloud cover, but really not much in the way of rain, if any. It's behind that we got to watch here as we go into the weekend. Let's take a look at Futurecast, at least through tomorrow morning. So you see the clouds? Those high clouds will start to kind of filter in here through the afternoon. And you see that rain trying to come on in. It can't because high pressure is breaking the storm apart. And again, the main impact is going to be some of those high clouds filtering in. And then you'll see it's actually showing a little bit of rain coming in Friday morning, even Friday afternoon. At this point, I'm going to keep it dry because I don't think a lot of that rain is going to be able to make it to the surface. So we'll start off with dry conditions on Friday and then maybe some sprinkles through the day. But again, that's going to be mainly in the higher elevations if we even see that. The wind is not a factor today, so that's good. However, with the approaching storm system on Friday into Saturday, the wind's picking up along the coast, central Siskiyou County, right, Shasta Valley, seeing some of those issues here with those stronger winds here. All right, so here's what we have in store for us today. Upper 50s, low 60s. As I mentioned, your temperatures will really and truly depend on how quickly that fog burns off, if it does at all in the valley. Otherwise, 40s and 50s for the higher elevations, and we're talking upper 50s to around 60 for the coast. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook. We got that morning fog for the next couple of days. There are the showers coming in Saturday and really through the weekend. That continues off and on through Christmas Eve. Now, Christmas Day at this point is still looking fairly dry, but I'm beginning to see some signs of maybe some light showers, possibly even Christmas Day with some of the long-range forecast models. But for the most part, I'm going to keep it dry for Christmas Day, but that rain kicks in and snow levels are going to be high. You'll notice 5,000 to 6,000 feet or higher for Saturday, Sunday, but they could drop down to as low as 4,000 feet and locally lower by Christmas Eve. And once you know, just in time for some of those people that have to travel locally on Christmas Eve, and of course more rain and snow coming in the day after Christmas as well. All right, that's your quick cast, or at least as quick as I could make it. Have yourselves a great day. Stick around for a deeper dive. We're really going to get into it. And there you can, of course, see, I want to remind you that there is a free Weather NorCal app for your iPhone and for your Android. Just search for Weather NorCal in your app store, and you'll be good to go. I think you'll really enjoy the app. It's a really useful app, and it's very much hyper-local. All right, once again, we're seeing that storm system approaching. It's butting up against the ridge of high pressure. So it's not going to bring us much in the way of rain, if any. The main thing will be some of the clouds. Now, I want to show you the moisture content that's going to be associated with these storms as they pass through. Essentially, what's going to happen is this. You can see these spins. There's a spin here. There's a spin right here. These areas of low pressure. These low pressure systems are tapping into that moisture, and that was what helps to squeeze out that moisture, is those storm systems. So you can see as we go into Saturday, a weak atmospheric river coming through. We go into your Sunday, another one coming in, right? Plenty of moisture to tap into right here. That's Sunday. We take you into Monday, see the spin, it's tapping into the moisture, coming right into Northern California. Tuesday, you can see more of that. And then it looks like a nice little stream of moisture coming in late Christmas night, right? So as we're going to Christmas night into the day after Christmas, we see that moisture kind of come on in. We've got more rain for Thursday of next week. So you get the idea. Once the rain kicks in this weekend, we've got all of this moisture that we're able to tap into with these storm systems, and that's why we expect to see a decent amount of rainfall coming out of this. Now, again, I use the term atmospheric river because it is a way to help explain and tell the story. Because we all know that atmospheric rivers are narrow columns of moisture transported by strong winds at the surface and in the upper levels of the atmosphere. The jet stream, essentially, right? So what we're seeing here is these spikes. These are where we're seeing these short-lived atmospheric rivers. So they're not here for an extended period of time. They're not going to create major problems. We're just getting into the AR1 and AR2 category. AR1 is basically just beneficial rainfall. AR2 is beneficial with some hazards. So as we go through, really especially as we go through the end of the weekend and early next week, we could be looking at the potential for some mudslides, debris flows, maybe some localized flooding, but it's not going to be a major problem or a major issue. You start running into bigger problems when you start getting into AR4 and AR5. And as you can see, we're nowhere near that. So again, I just wanted to help tell that story of that available moisture that we have. So let's take a look at Futurecast over the next few days. So the clouds are coming in later this afternoon, high and mid-level clouds. Of course, we're still seeing some of that fog here through the morning hours here for the valley. All right, then we go into your Friday. Now, Friday, you see some of the showers that are trying to move on in. For the most part, it's dry. If you see a sprinkle for some of the higher elevations in Siskiyou, Trinity, and even out towards Del Norte and Humboldt County, don't be surprised, but it's not going to be a big deal. This, as you see, it's just going to kind of break apart, but it's even trying to come through the valley. The thing is, it's pretty dry out there. So what we're going to be looking at here is most of that kind of evaporating before reaching the ground. It's known as virga. But if you see a sprinkle Friday morning for even parts of the valley, don't be surprised. But again, for the most part, I'm keeping it dry for Thursday and Friday. Of course, today and Friday, right? Now, you'll see on Saturday, so this is Friday night, Saturday morning, midnight, we're starting to see some showers move in, but the main band of moisture is still off to our west. That starts to come on through as we go into Saturday morning. We're seeing the rain. Not very heavy off to the east, but the main band of moisture still, again, kind of off to the west here. That starts to push through. Saturday morning, we're still seeing some of that rain. Now we're seeing the rain and snow, mainly of 5,000 to 6,000 foot elevation with that snow. There's noon on Saturday. It's still pushing to the east. After we get past that, as we go through the afternoon, you'll see it starting to kind of break apart. We're seeing less and less in the way of rain and, of course, that higher elevation snow, but the clouds are sticking around here. So that's the first push of moisture. Then we got another push of moisture coming in late in the day Sunday and into Monday. So here's the overall pattern. Again, we've got that ridge of high pressure. That's the reason why we're not going to see much in the way of rain today or tomorrow, just the cloud cover coming in later this afternoon. So you can see this storm system right here, it's breaking apart because it's butting up against that ridge of high pressure. But by Saturday, a little kink right here. That's what we call a shortwave trough. That's what's going to bring us that rain on Saturday that we saw on Futurecast, right? Then the next one comes in behind that. It'll take a while. We'll give it Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening before the rain begins to kick on in. And then this is the one coming in for Sunday night into really Monday into Tuesday. We've got more rain. What you'll notice, though, as we go into Tuesday, we're seeing an even deeper, what we call a deeper trough. The deeper the trough, the cooler the air that can move on in. And that's why we expect snow levels to possibly drop for Christmas Eve. This could create some delays in chain requirements for some of those mountain passes down to about 4,000 feet, maybe locally lower. Right? Wouldn't you know, Mother Nature always has that perfect timing. Big travel day will be Christmas Eve here locally, so you definitely want to be on the lookout for that. Make sure you know what's going on with those roads. Christmas Day for now, as you see, looks fairly dry. You see a system that may just clip extreme northern California, so it's not guaranteed that it'll be dry all day on Christmas Day, but by Christmas night into the day after Christmas on the 26th, you've got more rain, more of that lower elevation snow down to about 4,000 or 5,000 feet. And then you can see just this pattern here, right? We're still seeing that jet stream aimed right at Northern California and the moisture. So that'll continue into that next Friday, even into that next weekend, with chances for more rain coming on in here as we go into the 27th of December and again into that next weekend. So the weekend after Christmas, probably still looking pretty wet out there. Now the rainfall totals through next Wednesday, yeah, we're talking 3 inches of rain is a possibility for parts of the valley. 4 to 5 inches is a possibility for the north coast, and you can see much less to the north and to the east. So some decent rain heading our way. And that's not including what we'll see after Christmas Day. All right, so there you can see that wet weather that we do have, the higher than normal conditions that is here, or above, let me rephrase this. The chances of seeing above normal rainfall are looking pretty good. The darker the shade of the green, the better the chance of seeing above normal rainfall. So that's where we're still at here. So yes, we've got a lot of rainfall heading our way starting this weekend and most likely lasting through next week, even into that next weekend. But look at this. You see how we're in the warmer than normal category. That's going to keep those snow levels fairly high. And even though we do expect them to drop down to about 4,000 feet, especially the day before and maybe even the day after Christmas. But there you can see the winds today. That's not a problem, but as we see the system approach on Friday, the winds will start to pick up, and look at this. By Saturday morning, we're seeing those gusts possibly 30, 40 miles an hour. Unfortunately, that could create maybe a problem here with some power outages, and of course, we're seeing some very gusty winds central Siskiyou County, winds picking up even for the valley, but especially off to the east as well. And then Saturday afternoon, those winds should start to die down a bit. Here's a look at your wave heights for your Thursday through 5 p.m. Let's take you into Friday. And you can kind of see it kind of goes back and forth a little bit here, but actually starts to increase as we go late in the day Friday into Saturday. So as of right now, there are no advisories, but that will most likely change as we go into tonight and into tomorrow. South winds today, though, at about 5 to 10 knots. And there you can see your high and your low tide for today. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, even some low 60s for some of your daytime highs. Now for the north coast, we've got 65 in Blue Lake, 60 in Eureka, 63 for Garberville, and 64 degrees in Alder Point. 62 for a high today in Orleans, 61 for Gasquet, as well as McKinleyville, Trinidad, and Willow Creek. Here's a look at your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Out in Scott Valley, temperatures somewhere in the upper 40s, 50 in Happy Camp, 48 for Hornbrook, and there you can see Tennant, about 50 degrees. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Out towards Canby, about 48, 47 for Cedarville, and looks like Alturas and Aden, about 52 degrees. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures mainly in the 50s, although a warmer spot will be in Paradise with a high of about 60. We've got 59 degrees for Shingletown and Viola, about 54 degrees. Your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting. Your temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 50s for your highs, 61 for Paskenta, 62 in Elk Creek, and 56 degrees in Durham. Let's take you up to the north, and we do, of course, got the city of Shasta Lake at about 63, 61 for Redding. We are going to see that fog, and it may linger through the morning hours. It should burn off places to the north and having a harder time to burn off late as we go even through this afternoon down to the south, places like Chico, for example. So we got that morning fog, especially for today and tomorrow, and then it looks like for the first day of winter on Saturday, we got some wet weather and cooler, mid-50s, off and on showers through at least Christmas Eve. Christmas Day for now looks dry, but not guaranteed. Well, that is your morning update. I'll be back again this afternoon for your latest.
Caltrans is doing the best that they can with the amount of people and the amount of equipment they have, and they're out there trying to keep the roads safe and trying to keep everybody running, because if the roads shut down, truck drivers that are paid by the miles aren't making any money. So we want everybody to put chains on for the safety of themselves and the safety of the public. It's not worth it to drive without chains.